Okay, Ellen. I think that fit interview was really good. It was really nice to get to know you. Are you ready for the case interview portion of our interview?
Sure, let's start.
Absolutely. So, our client is the CEO of Embattled Biopharma, a leading biopharmaceutical company based in the United States, whose recent strategic priorities include focusing on oncology and expanding their presence in emerging markets. The CEO is under pressure from her board to turn around the recent trend in decreasing revenues. She has hired you to ensure that she can deliver on the promise she made to her board on increasing annual revenues by 50% by 2020.
That's it. That's the
Yep.
so you may increase so for the recap, so the CEO, the key target is wanted to turn around the revenue, increase the revenue by 50% by 2020. You mean
Yes.
within the
And
in how many years?
yes, yes. Let me get the year is currently let me check that really quick for you. I'm so sorry. I need to pull up the right year. It should be 2017. Right now it's 2017.
So revenue increase, the target is increase the revenue in 3 years, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so
Great.
yeah, so it's right 2018, 2019, and finally 2020. So currently we are at the end of 2017.
Then which means we the target is want to increase the revenue at within 3 years timeline, right?
Yes, yes, from 2017 to 2020.
Great. And so I have some quick question about, I want to learn about the background and the business model. So you mentioned the revenue has been going down for during the past years. So you have any data on that? So what is going on during the past? And that's one thing. So and I also want to understand what's the business module, what kind of product or services it sells.
Absolutely. So yes, first, I don't have information on the previous revenue for the past several years, but our revenue for the 2017 was $23 billion. So that is our current revenue, of decrease having decreased since this time. Current revenue $23 billion. And this company in Battle Pharma, they have a wide range of products spanning from for multiple therapeutic areas, including oncology, respiratory, and cardiovascular um, products.
Cardiovascular. So you mentioned several products. Are they sell to individuals or sell to hospitals, or
Um,
are they like medicine or like
yeah, I
yeah.
see. So, the products that they have are pharmaceuticals. So it would be pharmaceutical products, like medicines or treatments. Oh, and it doesn't information on who their customers are. However, it would be selling to I would imagine hospitals and doctors that would eventually prescribe their medications.
Oh, I see. So it's not over the counter. So you need subscription to get the products, right?
Yes, yeah, these are oncology and cardiovascular medicine. So they would need to first go through a hospital purchase and then purchased by the hospital, and then eventually doctors would prescribe the medication.
I see, got it. And you also mentioned they want to consider to expand. They are considering a strategy to expand in emerging market, right?
Mhm.
When you describe the emerging market, you mean the market overseas or the market of a new product? What would the emerging market imply?
Yes, so the majority of our sales currently are in the US and Europe, as we're a company based in the US, but they do have a small presence in Africa and Asia. So those could possibly be locations of emerging markets.
I see. So yeah, I think I got a pretty rough understanding of the business. So can I have a minute to structure my thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think I want to so to make sure that we can achieve a 50% increase of the revenue in the next 3 years, um there are 3 buckets that I want to look deep into. So the first bucket is I want to understand the revenue first. What is the and the second bucket I want to understand the overall markets, and the third is I want to analysis is the risk, uh, and uh, uh, and it's um risk, and there's a word called how to deal with the risk. It's called the risk and
Management?
no
Risk
and the third bucket is I want to analyze the risk and how to mitigate those risks. So within the first bucket, for the revenue, I want to first look into the quantity. So you mentioned that the one first I want to understand why the revenue decreased during the past years. So is there we experienced the decrease of the quantity or decrease of the price, or which products we experience the most significant decrease? So we and or are we experiencing the loss of the customers, or so I want to understand that first, and then I want to look into how we could generate new revenue streams. Can we sell the same products in the new territory, or can we sell the new products within within US and Europe where we have the strength at? And during the second bucket, and within the second bucket, I want to understand our competitors. You mentioned we experienced the decrease of the revenue. So I want to understand what is going on with our competitors. Are they also experiencing the same decreasing, or are they or is it only our problem, or yeah, how is our competitors overall is doing? And the second is I understand is there any a new trend of uh of the market? So is there like uh are we seeing new a better medicine that can be a good replacement of our current products, or are we having kind of new services, which mean, for example, like products plus services, like new kind of business model that is better than us? And then third is about the risk and how to mitigate that. It's really complicated when it's related with bio business. So there what kind of regulation that we need to keep that in mind then if we want to advance ourselves in the Africa and Asia. Yeah, that's so before everything that I want to understand our revenue first.
Absolutely. So beyond the revenue, our client has a number of products and they're each doing differently in terms of how they're doing, in terms of revenue, what they bring for the company. Of these products, remember they focus on oncology, and you have oncology, respiratory, and cardiovascular. How would you recommend, knowing that the revenue has been decreasing, in what ways would you recommend our client to increase revenue? So what kind of avenues do you think our client should take? Some ideas for increasing revenue.
Yeah, so I want to understand why we experience the decrease of the revenue. Are we losing our partnership, or are we or is there a new products or new services that could serve way much better than our existing product lines, and then we could tackle into different strategy. So for example, if we are losing our customers because there are cheaper a new medicine that is cheaper and perform better, and then we probably need to spend more on RNA, or we might focusing on selling the existing product line to the territory where there is no existing solution to that way, rather than keep branding the products in the current territory. and or if our products decrease, our products have relatively strong performance in terms of the product themselves, which means they satisfy our customers, but we probably want to focus on our strategy on the marketing strategy,
Absolutely.
develop more partnership and distribution
Absolutely.
channel. Yeah.
There's a number of ways. Yes, a number of ways. You mentioned about products that our competitors are currently working on to address, possibly gaps in the market. Do you, in regards to that, our clients actually has already some products in development that could possibly be revenue drivers. So with these, I could show you the first exhibit for what our client is currently developing. Hold up. Great.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the input of the new information. So we can see the according to the exhibit, and for one thing, we can see the likeliness of commercial success. So which means the stage 3 will have the most potential to gain success in which means we can drive more revenue for the products that we already within the stage 3. So
Right.
and for and also we can tell from the chart is the expected market size, and we can see the milk of the poppy that has the largest that has 20 billion market size, and is also in the stage 3. So I mean, there are now we have 2 products that are within the stage 3. So one is milk of the poppy and one is Myrish Fire, right? And we have Myrish Fire. So we have 2 products that, and for the milk of the poppy, that's already in the stage 3 and expect to gain 20 billion in 18 years, and it takes 5 years to commercialize.
Absolutely. So in their goal of reaching our revenue targets by in 3 years, what would you recommend our products to continue moving forward?
So oh yeah, so yeah, I mean, so for moving on, I would definitely recommend to focus on the milk of the poppy, and we could generate 20 billion within 1 years, and with very high likeliness. So yeah, which means we can expect a 16 billion revenue within the just in year 2018, and we only aim to increase 50% of the existing revenue is only 12 billion, so it's already exceeding our expectation.
Right. So just to make sure, so our current revenue is 23 billion, and we need to increase by 50%. So yes, you're correct that we need to increase our revenue by around $12 billion. Within the years of commercialization of 2 years, Milk of the Poppy and Myers Fire do seem to be the best options to go with. Could you possibly move forward with calculating the overall revenue that pursuing these two product lines would bring to our client?
Yeah, sure. So for the suppose that we could pursue the both product So for the milk of the poppy, and we have the expected year-over-year market growth is 10%. And now we have it, and this is a $20 billion dollar market. I mean, how much market share do we expect to have within the first year? Do we have the data?
Yeah, absolutely. So we would expect the likeliness of commercial success to be 80%. And so with the revenue, with the overall market size, overall market size of 2020, we would capture 80% of that market. Oh well, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so our likelihood of commercial success would be 80%. The market share we would ultimately capture would be 25%.
The ultimate market share is 25%, right?
Yes.
So for 2017, we have $20 billion market, and 2018 we have expected 10% increase. Then that is 22 billion. 2019. So now the first step is calculating the expected market size. And the 2017 is 20, 18 is 22, 19 is 24.2, and 2022 is 26.5. Yeah.
Yeah, actually there was a miscalculation. This is our first year is actually 2018. So your $24.2 billion market size is the year 20.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for the correction. So for 2020, we are expecting $24.2 billion the overall market, and by that year, we expect we can we could suppose that we're success. We succeed, then we could capture 25% of the market. So which is 6.05 billion. So for the Myrish fire, the market size is half size, so we can estimate is it's around 3 billion. So the overall, if we succeed in both launching the milk of the poppy and the Myrish fire, we can achieve 9 billion in total.
Revenue. Just to make sure, so did you factor in the likelihood of commercial success of both products?
Oh yeah, and if we consider the likeliness of the commercial success, then our expectation would be 7.2 billion.
Around that, yes. Great. And so moving forward, this, what would you how would you relate this to our objective for our client?
Yeah, and our target is to increase 12 billion. Our target is to increase our revenue by 12.5 billion, and now we are only achieve around 70% of our goal.
So what would that total revenue be for 2020 if we were to launch these two products?
So if we only launch these two products, and suppose we don't experience any further decline of our existing product line, and then we will have we will achieve 30 billion revenue in 2020.
Absolutely. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then from there, I would ask you what else could the firm do to ensure they reach their
Yeah,
goal. But
sure.
yeah, there you go. That's the first exhibit.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's
How did you? Yeah, how did you? I realized I kind of flubbed the. I should have read this case more thoroughly before I gave it to you, but yeah.
No, but I mean, it's already you give me more than enough information for me to drive the case. So I think my problem going over what I did is, well, several things. The first is I don't quite understand the biofarm that much. So I don't quite understand their business model, and so I cannot have such instinct
Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
and that's first thing. And the second thing is because of the lack of practices. So when you when you ask me how to increase the revenue, it's like kind of oh, how
Mhm.
to increase the revenue. I it's like I took too much time to do a structure, and I mean I need to practice more. And then for the exhibit, it's still the same old question is I didn't answer the so what uh after every information that I got
Mhm.
from you. So that's really important. So you keep reminding me, so what, then what, and what does it imply. So that's you really support, but that's the real problem for me.
Yeah. Oh no, overall I think you didn't do bad. And I will say this is a harder case. I think you can tell right away from like the exhibit that we did versus the last one. This is a much harder case, so I think you did quite well.
Oh,
But yeah,
thank you. Mhm.
overall, yeah. So I'll go over I'll pull up um the actual case. So yeah, you had asked a couple good questions. You had asked the wide range of therapeutic products. Um, and you had the revenue and that you targeted the 50% increase, and so that was great. That was really great. um I think in regards to what you were saying about the not understanding the business model so much, I had actually given this case before, and they had a similar problem. He would end up asking, what does oncology mean, what does respiratory mean, what does cardiovascular mean? And so you could spend more time learning about the business structure, just in the clarifying questions. It was useful for you. In the structure, I think the structure was really where you didn't like it was tough. The question was increasing annual revenues. However, in your structure, I didn't hear much about what you would actually recommend. So they would recommend organic or inorganic growth opportunities. However, in your structure, I heard what is the current revenue ideas, or and then as well you asked about the market. And so in the market, you could have come up with some like we could acquire another company, or we could acquire another product, or we could license. But in regards to the actions to take the increased revenue, I didn't hear so much about that. So it may be an acquisition, or and overall though, eventually we got to the exhibit. I think you did a really great job right away noticing the stage three, and these are the largest ones. And so going forward with these, I really like how you didn't even consider these. I mean, that was really great, just like getting the exhibit quite right away. Um, Again, I think what's tough is that when the exhibit comes up, it's like a huge like slamming of information just like right off the bat. What I was taught in like the modules and by my coach and everything is when this exhibit comes up saying, okay, in this exhibit, right, we see Embattled Pharma's pipeline for 5 different products, Willow Bark Nightshade, and 5 different products. The graph we see is the 2018 market size given for each product, as well we have the years of commercialization given for each product. And we see that the likelihood of commercial success for each product in each stage, as well as the year-over-year market growth expectations for each market. And so from that, it give me a little bit of time to like take in the exhibit, and then from there says, okay, and I see market size for this and market size for this, and as well they're both stage three. I think we should move forward with this, because definitely when the exhibit comes up, especially a more complicated exhibit than the one we did last week, you know what I mean, which was just like price, sales volume, especially when a much more complicated exhibit comes up, really like taking that time to digest it and like walking through what you see with the interview, because definitely this is a much harder. Like I remember when I pulled it up for like this person I did it with a couple months ago, it was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And so taking that time, the actual the actual calculations were really quite good. You had the market size, and then I gave you the wrong year, so that that's not your fault.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, calculating the market size here, I think what was expected was to do the same for the Myers Fire. I think you went right with this, and I'm not quite sure what math you did here, but you had calculated this and then divide by 2 and something like that. I think that would still
Yeah.
be fine. But I think definitely communicating your math more clearly. I think that would help me as the interviewer, because I can't see your notes, right? And so and so you eventually did get to a close number. And so that was good. And again, like you said, to go forward with the so what, like where's this go, so what? And so but overall, just overall, I mean, definitely don't get me wrong, there's a lot to improve, right? But I think you good takeaways. I guess the only two things I would say is the structure, definitely a little bit too long, and definitely just getting more experience with that of like how that this would answer the question. Um, and so basically like organic and inorganic growth, organic. And I think it was really good you had a bucket too for like what was previous revenue, but as well like the North Star, right, is increasing annual revenues. Whether you what as the consultant, as the person who's supposed to come up with the answer, what would you do? You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, but again, not bad. I not bad. You know, 'cause this is a harder case. This is a. I mean, definitely compared to last week. You know what I mean? So yeah, um, yeah,
Thank you, Steph. Thank you. I mean, I love you. Share this challenging case with me. I mean, I'm always want to try a biofarm case, but I
yeah,
didn't dare to do that. But thank you for bringing that
yeah.
up.
It's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll send you this too, so you can see the rest of what the interview, and just like doing this stuff, it gives you a lot of exposure to just how different different
Yes.
companies run. And yeah, I'll send you this case, and you can look through it some more. There's another exhibit. But yeah, I think this was a
Sure.
really good exercise for you. So
Great. Great. And then we can take a short break, like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Let me get a good case
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
Could we actually do 10 minute 10:20 10:20?
Sure. Of course.
Cool.
Take
Okay,
your
I'm
time.
gonna stop. I'm gonna let's I think I have to end the meeting for the recording the process, so I'll
Uh-huh.
end it and then we'll come back to the same meeting. Is that okay?
Sure.
Cool. All right,
Works.
see you in a minute.